In this episode,
I'm going to be talking about Leicester City, and you can find me on Twitter at Foxy FPL.
The Fantasy Football Show.
Hello listeners, welcome back to episode 16 of the Planet FPL 30 in 30. My name's Suj.
My name is James.
And today we have the first of our new FPL correspondents on the show, which is why I put a blazer on and everything. So if you want to see me smart, you need to get over to YouTube.
Why are you making me look like a fucking tramp?
No, I just went to a meeting where I had to wear a blazer, so I thought I'd keep it on. There we go. Today we have none other than FPL Foxy, Anup, with us.
That's not his handle.
FPL Foxy?
Anup, why don't you tell us your handle, mate?
Go for it.
I don't even know what it is. Is it Foxy FPL or FPL Foxy?
I forgive myself for getting wrong. I'm sure it's FPL Foxy.
It's the same thing, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
At Foxy FPL.
Okay.
But on my Twitter, I put FPL Foxy on the side. I've just checked it.
There we go. We've got it covered. How are you, Anup?
Yeah. I'm grand. Thank you so much, first of all, for having me. It's been fantastic for you guys to invite me. So thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem
pleasure,
at all. So being one of the new guys, you weren't in our correspondence league last season. You'll be added into it this season. So
okay.
we don't. Some of the listeners won't have seen your score last season or how you did. For those that haven't, how was your 2018-19 season?
It was actually very good.
Nice.
My career history has not been great, but I finished at 4.9k, so I was ecstatic in the top 5k.
Would that put him as winner of our correspondence?
When I said
league?
I'm getting new correspondence, I said I'm getting new correspondence.
proper people that know what they're talking about. Would that have put Anup at the top of our correspondence league? 4.9k overall.
No, about
Is
third,
Adam?
I think.
I thought Johnny.
Adam Hotcroft was
he-
about 600, and
Wow, but he's a new as well.
Ted, our new Chelsea correspondent, was about 600 as well.
Oh wow, okay. So the new ones are the ones that are coming in and
Yep.
destroying a correspondence league. So Johnny Pringle, who won it, coming in at 20,300, would have been mid-table at best.
No, you'd have finished about fourth.
Well, it's just nice to see City not winning something. So
Well, he's already won it, hasn't he?
Yeah. Next season, let's see what's happening. So 4,000 and something is an incredible rank.
Yeah, thank you guys. 4.9k.
Yeah. And did you start off strong, or was it fairly consistent throughout the season? Did you play your chips well?
Yeah, it was quite consistent throughout the season. It's actually quite funny because I was obviously I'm sure most of us are in cash leagues and stuff.
Yeah.
I was in a few of them, but one of them you win like £15 every week. But so even though I came overall, I only won that once. So that was it was. So I think I came quite consistent, but I didn't get any like really crazy high scores, and so it was an interesting season. Yeah.
So consistency sounds like was key.
Yeah, I think I had consistency this season. Yeah, last season.
Have you got any sort of? Look, it's obviously a great rank. It's numbers that me and Suj can't post. Have you got any particular?
Yet.
Pipe
One day.
dream. Have you got any sort of tips that you'd give to the listeners in terms of how you got there, or perhaps even what you improved from previous years?
Yeah, but I'm just going to keep it to myself. I'm joking. I'm joking. I think it's going to change. Like next season is going to change because I'm going to invest more money in defense. I think that's going to be a recurring theme, not just with me, but throughout other people. Yeah. And midfield. But last season, I listened to Fantasy Football Scout quite a bit. I'll be honest, and I got like bitten by the bug, the FPL bug. So I've spent too much time on it last season.
I think it is a rabbit hole that once you're in, you're in.
Yeah, it's crazy. I had too much time on Twitter, like looking at your guys' tweets, other accounts, Fantasy Football Scout. So yeah, that's one of the things. I think the more time you maybe spend on it, obviously the more chance you have. Yep. Get your captaincy right. I think I got lucky on some captaincies. You got to try and get that right as well.
Yeah, I mean, captaincy is obviously crucial. To be honest, all I was thinking was people are probably better off still listening to Scout than us if they want to follow that rank. No, yeah.
Well, I was looking at Scout the other day because it is. I mean, they produce a lot of really good content, and one of the things that I like is the pressers roundup because I can't be bothered to watch the press conferences. So if you can round them up for me,
FPL Connect does something really good.
They're pretty good as well.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he or she is very good for that. Yeah,
It's definitely
Connect.
Definitely he.
Okay.
I know.
But yeah, so it is good to try and get as much knowledge as you can. And so many people that we've spoken about have seen their rank improve as they become part of the community and engaged in podcasts and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what's happened with me. Definitely, yeah.
Oddly enough, Suj, I don't hear too many people going, I started listening to your pod and my rank got worse. It's basically just me and you.
Yeah.
And everybody else.
My rank
improves.
dropped 500,000, but I really feel like next season's going to be the one. The next season's going to be the one. But
yeah, I've never heard that before.
yeah, I'm probably starting to sound like a Liverpool fan now. That's pretty harsh. How long have you been playing FPL?
So this was my fourth season I played it.
Yeah.
So I got ranks of 127k, 35k, 135, and then 4.9.
That's
Wow.
solid.
That's fairly consistent. Like anything
It's
in
not-
and around the
it's not
100,
too
150k is decent. Like your 31k rank is also really, really good.
35, yeah.
35k, yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad, and it's actually quite funny because on the last day of last season, I don't normally do this, but I was trying to obviously like beat my rival in the cash league, so
Yeah.
I was trying to block him effectively. So I looked at his team and I thought, he's going to captain Mane. If it was up to me, I would have captain Aguero, and he only got about 7 points, but then Mane got about 15. So I got very lucky,
Yeah.
which resulted me in getting a top 5k finish. So I think you need a bit of luck as well, and I definitely had that to get me a top 5k finish.
Yeah, ultimately it is a guessing game.
4.9k.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just in.
Just. But ultimately, I agree with you in that you do need a little bit of luck. But at the same time, if you do your planning and you put yourself in the right position, then you will help, of course, like picking the right... keeping an eye on fixtures, picking players in form, being consistent. Having said that, when we spoke to Ali, FPL gaffer, he was happy with his team. It was just that they didn't click.
Just had a bad luck run.
And things can happen in the season. Like, how many times did Alonso hit the post? How many times did Jota hit the post?
I had him at the start of the season. Very frustrating.
Yeah, of
very
course.
frustrating. Yeah,
And that's where luck does come into it a little bit. But I suppose you do the best you can in terms of planning.
Yeah.
We've obviously got you on to talk Leicester in the main. How many players did you own last year from Leicester?
Not a lot, I'll be honest. I remember owning Ricardo Pereira when a lot of people bought him towards the end of the season, and then he got like 0-2, 0-2, like loads of rubbish scores, and then he got a couple of assists. I think I might even benched him for one of them, or a free hit on one of them. I might have had Vardy. I had Maddison definitely towards the start of the season, not right at the start. Maybe a few weeks in, I got him. Mm-hmm. And that's about it, to be honest. Yeah, I don't remember really having Leicester players throughout so much, you know.
You're a local lad, aren't you? Is that why you support Leicester?
Sorry. Is that why I support? Did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. When I was younger, I did have the phase, as a lot of my friends do. Like, I supported like the glory teams, like Man U and stuff. And then I think from about 10 onwards, so like last 19 sort of years, big Leicester fan and massive fan.
Was you there a lot during the title season?
Unfortunately not. I watched a lot of games on TV then because it was good, because when they were sort of towards like the Champions League, sort of top half Champions League spots, they put a lot of their games on TV. So I did go to the occasional game, of course, as well. I went to both Champions League games the next season. That was incredible, home and away. That was incredible.
Would you go to Atletico or?
So no, it was the one before that. So
Seville.
Seville, yeah. So it was at the Ramon Sanchez Pizjuan Stadium.
Well pronounced.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I can speak a little bit, not much. With a couple of friends, it was just an incredible experience, and to watch them. And because we actually lost the game, but because we scored the away goal, I think we were celebrating for like 20 minutes at the end, non-stop singing, because we were so happy with the away goal. And then I think we beat them 1-0 home. So that proved to be the main sort of thing that made us go through, you know, the away goal.
Definitely.
It was amazing.
Right, that's enough of the title season. I don't want to talk about it no more.
That's the
No,
Champions League season the year after. What's
Once in a lifetime thing, right? And,
yeah. I mean,
Absolutely,
it
mate.
does give other clubs like the likes of West Ham hope that it could happen in about 100 years' time, because it is once in a lifetime.
Do you think a team?
And Spurs as well, right, James?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
I'm cool. I'm down with that. Listen, the Leicester fans on. I've got to take a bit of ribbon here, haven't I?
Yeah,
right? It's fair enough. Ah, fuck. You say so.
Last season was a bit of a funny one, because if you looked at the stats, Leicester weren't playing badly until they fired their manager and Brendan Rodgers came in. I mean, you're creating chances. I spoke to a number of Leicester fans that were happy with the performances. They just weren't getting the ball in the back of the net. It wasn't exciting, but it wasn't bad per se. But then the board did decide to make that kind of managerial change. How did you feel? Were you happy to see a new manager come in?
I think it was the right time. I think it was the right time for Puel to go. But I was so happy that we got Rodgers. Like, he's a manager of high caliber, ex-Liverpool. Some people I know are the Leicester fans, not too happy. Most were happy, and I was very happy. But and I still am.
Yeah,
I think there's a reputation with him, isn't there? That almost like he failed a little bit at Liverpool, and he didn't really. He took him into a position they hadn't been in for quite a while. And I think that, I mean, he's providing a much better brand of football, isn't he?
Yeah, he did well at he got the Liverpool job because of what he'd done at Swansea, and he did well at Celtic as well. You'd kind of consider Swansea, Celtic more of the same size club as maybe a Leicester. I mean, it's interesting that he moved.
Jesus Christ!
He made the move from Celtic to Leicester,
Just
right?
lost every Celtic listener. Forever.
Well, if you look at the league, sure, in terms of fans and stadium and all the rest of it, Celtic are a bigger financial club from that kind of point of view. But in terms of status, Leicester versus Celtic, you think Celtic would beat Leicester or not?
What, right now?
Yeah.
No, Leicester would beat them.
Well, there you go. So they're at the sort of a similar caliber.
Well.
I think Celtic could probably beat Swansea.
True.
No, but we've said this so many times, not to get off topic, but if Celtic did come down to the Premier League after a few years because of the status of the club, they would be massive.
Yeah, they'd get up to top six.
The reason
top seven,
he's left there is because of the status of that league, and effectively Leicester are in a position to potentially be the best side in the league outside the top six. You always feel like they're on the edge of it all the time.
Yeah.
To push into it.
And I think one of the things that allows Leicester to do that is obviously the ownership of the club. We talk about when we spoke to Johnny Pringle about Manchester City and what the guys from Abu Dhabi have done, not just for the club but for the area and the investment in the youth system, etc. It's no different at Leicester, and that really became apparent obviously when we had the sad news with Vichai last year. But just the stories of how much they'd pump money into the hospital in Leicester and paying for away fans, coach travel, etc., etc.
Yeah, very
without
true,
wanting to dwell on obviously what was a very sad time, it will carry on because you feel like they're owners that care about the infrastructure and the grassroots of the club, not just money in, money out. Which makes me think that's why you're right in that they are well positioned to make that leap into trying to crack that top six consistently.
Definitely. Definitely, yeah.
Go on.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, that's true. It's so true. Like he did a lot for the city as well, not just for the club. Like spend money on the university as well. But yeah, I think a lot is going to rest on this summer. Like if we can keep players such as Chilwell, Maguire, Maddison, I can see good times ahead, and we maybe buy around that one or two players. But if we lose, say two of those three, I think it's going to be very tough for us. So if Maguire goes and Maddison goes, for example, I think it's going to be tough for us because even if we do recuperate a lot of money, it's been shown in the past that it's difficult for clubs to spend. For example, Manchester United, Di Maria, Sanchez, for players like that to come good. Even if we get a lot of money, it's going to be difficult, I think. So I think it's vital to keep those players.
I mean, the money that's being talked about for Maguire, 70 million. Chilwell, was it 65 million?
71 mentioned.
70. So, I mean, 140 million just for those two. I haven't heard many rumours about Maddison potentially moving
United.
on.
I mean, talking about United and City going maybe for Maguire at the time of recording, we should say this is being recorded about 5 days before it goes out, just in case. Maddison mentioned with United as well, and Chilwell with a few. I mean, if the three of them went in the current market, it's 200 million.
Yeah, and you can't turn that money down as a club of Leicester's size. I don't think you can.
No, you would hope. I mean, we're talking about their story is obviously a massive fairy tale in terms of what happened. You can't see a team of largely players that were rejected coming together and pulling that off again. The only way it'll ever happen again is if you've got a real group of young players that come through at the same time.
Yeah.
A little bit like what nearly happened with Ajax in the Champions League.
Yeah.
And they're all going to go now, unfortunately. But below the Maddisons, Chilwells and Maguires, and obviously the experience of Vardy up front, you look at the under-21 team we spoke about the other day, it's full of fucking Leicester players.
Yeah,
right?
Chowdhury.
You've got
Harvey
Chowdhury
Barnes
in there, Maddison, Harvey Barnes, Damari Gray.
Yep.
These are all really talented kids.
Yeah.
And Damari Gray was one I owned last season for 4.5. Didn't really do anything for me, but
Put you on the spot, and who do you prefer, Harvey Barnes or Damari Gray?
Ooh, I think Barnes slightly more. I'll have to see in preseason. So if you ask me this question in about a month's time, it will be better because then I'll have seen some of the preseason and I'll have watched some of the games. Hopefully some of the preseason's game. But Barnes' underlying stats were just incredible for the end of last season. For like a 5.5 midfielder. Gray sometimes looks good, but he can't seem to always deliver. In a way, similar with Barnes, but I would just prefer Barnes at this moment.
I mentioned them two particularly because they've obviously got massive potential. There's a ceiling definitely with both of them. And yet, because they've kind of, particularly with Barnes, the amount of chance he was missing when he come back from that West Brom line, he should have got a hat-trick when he played at Wembley in February.
Exactly.
I know that. I think they'll come in at sort of the same price. Harvey Barnes particularly at sort of, was he 5.5?
5.5, yeah.
I can see the same again, and he might be one.
I can see the same again as well. Yeah, 5.5, and if he is, I think he could be he could be a good buy depending on the fixtures as well. The fixtures get released in 2 days.
Yeah,
time of recording.
When this goes out, it was 3 days ago, mate.
that's true.
timing for you. It will be interesting. I guess price point is going to be really interesting for some of the Leicester players. The key men were that little bit more expensive than the likes of potentially Wolves players or Bournemouth or what have you, but cheaper than your top 6 clubs. It will be interesting to see what happens to some of the more highly owned players, not least the big man up top in terms of Jamie Vardy. He was in that
Definitely.
kind of 8 or 8.5. He started out
9
last
million.
season. Well, he
I think
started
it was
at
9.
9.
It was 9.
He dropped down a little bit.
He started at 9 and finished at 9.
Yeah, in the season he had a dip though, didn't he?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
It was like 8.8 and then 9.2 and then
There weren't many strikers in that bracket. Lacazette probably being the only one, and then you drop down to Giroud, if I remember correctly. And we've said it and we've questioned, when's Vardy going to lose his pace or his turn of pace and getting in behind?
I've been thinking that as well.
He ended up being a good set and forget last season. He kept chipping away with goals. There's no reason for his price to drop, but there's also no reason for his price to go up.
I think it'll be the
next
same
season.
again. 9 again.
We're looking at the same again. It's an interesting one.
I think 9 or maybe slightly lower because of his age. Probably 9, yeah.
I think the way he finished the second half of the season, so he was the best value premium forward players ranked above 8 minutes, second best after Mane in the second half of the season. Listen, the official account are going to be aware of these sort of numbers. His statistics dramatically picked up from when Rodgers come in. So it might have kind of leveled out over the season, but we saw he finished the season really strongly. So I don't see a price decrease. If anything, I would expect a rise rather than decrease.
Decrease.
I think he'll be the same.
I mean, the pros are.
I'm saying 9. I reckon 9. Yeah.
The pros for having him, obviously, he seems to thrive. He seemed to thrive, albeit in a handful of games under Rodgers. And he will be, in my opinion, Rodgers' main man to go to. So I think obviously Rodgers will try and build the team around him or their counter-attacking style. The con is just someday surely he's got to lose his pace.
Yeah,
and that's still a question.
That's it, yeah.
For me, 9 million seems a bit rich for Jamie Vardy next season.
But the team potentially now, with the people like Gray and Barnes, he's surrounded by pace, and also obviously, hopefully for Leicester he stays. The amount of chances Maddison creates, he was comfortably created the most chances in the league last year. It was 200 plus.
It was a crazy amount, yeah.
So
I think personally. Sorry. I was just going to say. I think it's a good idea maybe to like cash in on the players who create the chances, perhaps so you can save a bit of money up top.
Yeah.
I'm maybe planning to go a bit cheaper up top and maybe try and get the players like Barnes who maybe create the chances, or Vardy creates the chances maybe in turn for these players.
I feel like at the moment in this kind of pre-season, pre-prices, and obviously we're recording day in, day out and speaking to everyone from every different club. My watch list is getting bigger and bigger day in, day out. It's going to be very hard to put together a game week 1 squad.
It will do. Even people like Chowdhury, who is only going to improve, you would think,
Yep.
and certainly going to the under-21 tournament this summer is going to benefit him. He seemed to get favouritism over Mendy once Rodgers came in. He could be a good 4.5, kind of sit on the bench all year next year. I like Ndidi as well. I think they complement each other as a pair if he's going to go 4-2-3-1. And they really allow the two fullbacks to come on, who are another two we have to mention, because they kind of get mentioned in conversation together a lot, is obviously Chilwell and Pereira. Pereira's numbers were outstanding, but Chilwell, every time I saw him, was passing that eye test. He's kind of looks like he's got the England spot now at left back, playing left side of Maguire. And I think they're both options again at the start of next season. Do you see rises for them
definitely.
too?
Yes, definitely. I actually saw some news today that PSG were interested in Pereira, which I was not happy with, because I would love Pereira to stay. He was our player of the season last season. He won awards for this. Yeah, Chilwell, as you say, incredible on the eye test. Didn't quite post the numbers in terms of statistics, but underlying stats were there and the eye test was there. Yeah, I think both of them will be sound buys next season. I think Pereira was 5. That could be, again, I'm going to look at fixtures. That's going to be important for me. But yeah, that's going to be important for me to look at.
I think Pereira could come in 5-5, you know.
As high as that.
But I think Chilwell...
He was the highest assists
I think Chilwell will
outside
stay.
of the top 6, right?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, massive numbers, Ricardo Pereira. So, I mean, he was Leicester's highest scorer last season overall, 146 points. You can't complain at that off a 5 million defender start.
No, not at all. I think the problem with Pereira was he was patchy, right? He did so well at the start of the season. And then had a kind of dry spell when everyone jumped on him because they'd seen how well he'd done.
Myself.
Yeah,
I got nothing from him.
Yeah,
maybe one assist.
Yeah, same mate, by the way. Yeah, same.
And then obviously at the end of the season he came good again. So that's the problem with these kind of non second tier down from premium assets is sometimes they can be a bit streaky, and if you don't catch the streak, then you do end up kicking yourself a little bit.
8 assists, 4.2 points per game, Pereira.
4.2 is decent for a defender.
Very good.
I'm not sure how many clean sheets Leicester kept last season, but I don't think it was many.
Not a lot. Not a lot.
No, certainly early on. No, a few actually. 10, I think.
10, not bad. That's pretty decent.
Not bad.
I think they'll. You'll improve defensively under Rodgers because you have more of the ball as well. Your players will become more competent, and these players that we've all mentioned, other than Vardy, they're all young. They're all gonna still improve. I think. I know there's targets. I think he's trying to target a partner for Maguire, but I guess it could be a replacement for Maguire, doesn't it? That's the big thing with Leicester. Between now and when it kicks off in a couple of months, if the squad stays together, I think they'll be the best of the rest next year.
Yeah.
But if you take exactly what you said, if you take 2 or 3 components out of that team, I think it becomes a problem.
You got to start from the beginning, really, right? And then
rebuild.
Well, rebuild, yeah.
Hopefully, the players. We kind of felt before the season finished that they would give Rodgers a full season.
Yeah. Was
generally our feeling. I don't see why any of them would be in a rush to move it. Some of the wages these guys could earn, like Maguire and that, if one of the Manchester clubs wants to buy you for 80 million, it is going to turn your head.
Of course. But when the season they won the league, the owners bought them all BMW i8s, right? So
and pizza.
And pizza. So if they stick around, you never know, they might get rewarded.
Who have you seriously got your eye on for FPL for the start of the season, mate?
Sorry, I can't hear you so well. Can you say that again?
Who have you seriously got your eye on FPL-wise for Leicester for the start of the season?
Okay, so I'll be honest. I'm not massively keen on the Leicester assets at the moment. Obviously, I'm a big Leicester fan from Leicester, but hopefully our fixtures will be that good that we'll have like the first 6-7 games will look that good that I will want to, because I would love to be buying players like start with like Vardy or Barnes, you know. So we'll look at fixtures, look at pre-season as well. Price points is going to be important as well. If we can keep Maguire, I think he's due a few goals. From how I've seen him play, I think he was a bit short on his capability, his potential on goals last season. I'm expecting some more. Hopefully we can keep him. Chilwell as well, definitely. He underperformed. I'm expecting him to post some better numbers in terms of assists, maybe goals. Pereira as well. Hopefully he's 5-5-5. Maddison, I'm expecting him to convert more of his chances into assists, definitely. He posted so many chances, didn't he? And 100 chances. So I think we're going to convert more of them.
The one name that was a budget buy at the back end of last season, a few people jumped on, but not many, was Tielemans. Do we know if there's any news on whether that will be made permanent?
I haven't mentioned him. Sorry, I haven't even mentioned him. Yeah,
that was a loan at the time. But do we know if he's?
Well, the problem is that he performed so fucking well. There's
other people are going to be sniffing around.
That's the problem, basically. That's basically the problem. Yeah.
That might well come down to possibly whether Leicester hold on to their players or not.
Sure.
You would think that obviously if a Maddison was to go, for example, they would probably push the boat out and pay the extra whatever it costs for Tielemans, for example. I think the balance of the team, although he's a very good player, not having him back wouldn't be critical. I think you'd still look at Maddison with the two wide players and the two sitters, and if he moves towards a 4-2-3-1. Rodgers is flexible as well. I mean, the thing with those two fullbacks, if you want to go to a back three, drop the wingers and play the fullbacks. They're very competent as wing backs, definitely. You'd want them even more if they played a three at the back, Chilwell and Pereira.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, because they'll push on even more. Well, I was personally surprised by Tielemans. I think he came in at 6, but I was not. Every week he was getting an attacking return. I was just thinking, when is it going to stop? When is it going to stop? Because my research of him, and obviously I was excited when he came. I just saw him as a CM, so it's like a central midfielder. So just, I don't know, maybe just try and control the game a bit, settle things a bit, and let Maddison create the chances and maybe goals. I was not expecting him to get assists and goals. I was very pleasantly surprised that he was, but I didn't buy him on FPL.
I mean, if he comes back, you'd have to look at. Just looking at comparing his points per match with some of the midfielders from last season. So 4.8 points per match, Tielemans.
We spoke about this a couple of days ago. It's Pogba and the
same as Sigurdsson and Fraser.
Yeah, at not much cheaper than Fraser, but it is cheaper than Fraser and much cheaper than Siggy.
If he gets bought permanently, though, he'll have a jump. He'll be straight up to sort of 7, I think.
Do you think as high as that?
And if he goes with respect, if he goes to one of the top 6, higher still.
Tielemans.
Yeah, I agree.
Where's he at the moment? Belgium.
Is it Monaco?
Monaco. Yeah, he plays for Monaco. Yeah, but he's Belgium international. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. So he's available. Let's see what happens with him. He's the one that may be interesting to look at.
Yeah, it could be the like cog, right? To things. So I was doing some research, and I think Manchester United and I think Spurs are very interested in him. So if I was him, hopefully he's not watching this or anything. I would go to Spurs.
He is definitely watching, mate.
But yeah, hopefully he'll obviously come to Leicester, but we'll find out in the next few weeks, I guess, right?
I think if Spurs and United are interested, then there's every chance that he'll end up back at Leicester, because I think United are probably looking at spending higher values. I mean, being linked with Maddison, for example. And we don't buy players, mate, so you got no concerns there.
Yeah, it's true.
You're hoping to get down to your stadium more next season. It's not called the Walker Stadium anymore, is it? King Power. Sorry, yeah.
King Power. Yeah. I went a few times last season. Tickets are fairly hard to get hold of unless you have a membership. But so the thing is, my work is a lot of the time it's on weekends.
Right.
I'm sort of freelance, so I have to get my own work, but it's mostly on weekends. Oh yeah, but I'm definitely going to go more next season, and yeah.
I think there are plans to put another tier on one of the two sides.
Yeah, I've been hearing that for a couple of seasons now, though. So that I think obviously since the unfortunate death of the chairman, obviously that's changed things a little bit. Maybe plans of not quite gone through. I think the main plan at the moment is the training facility. They're going to build an amazing one, I think, which could hopefully act as a little bit of a lure for players like Tielemans to come through. It's going to be like a world-class facility. Yeah, hopefully they will expand the stadium as well, because it was sold out. Not under Puel, but it was sold out. Yeah, towards the end of the season, I think.
It's kind of similar to sort of Wolves and that. Why it's doing really well, they'll always fill out. No doubt about it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm playing good football, right?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. And obviously the status of the club has obviously massively grown in the last few years. That's going to stay historically for quite a while. Must have done good stuff commercially, I would have thought, Serge. They must have.
They're shrewd business people, and I think what happens when you get owners from a country in Asia like Thailand owning a Premier League club, you find that everyone within that country suddenly is like, okay, well, Leicester have got Thai owners, we'll all support Leicester. And that's where the international kind of commercial money starts really flooding in. So that status, I bet the status of Leicester in Thailand is really solid.
Yeah, it is because I've had friends go since on holiday and stuff, and they've been like at all the airports and stuff full of Leicester, King Power, because obviously King Power is like a retail brand that they own, and they would obviously stock it. And I've seen lots of stuff from friends and pictures in Thailand, and
it is interesting. Leicester picked up a player to replace Mahrez. Was it Gazelle?
Yeah, Algerian fellow as well.
He had a rubbish season.
Underwhelmed. I would say.
But obviously they bought him for a reason, and he was touted as a replacement, as a wonderful player like Mahrez. Did you see anything in him that you think he might come good next season, might be an interesting option? Or a duffer, just put in and in and out?
Too much competition. You forget that even about like Albrighton, don't you?
Yeah.
There's enough competition.
Yeah. No, I think if you minus him, we've only got 3 players. So Albrighton in the wide positions. So we got Gray, Barnes, and Albrighton. Even Maddison can play there a bit, maybe in a 4-2-3-1. I don't think he's going to come that good. We also have Diabate, and I think he's going to be sold.
Tricky. Tricky and quick. I've seen him before. I actually thought he was pretty good as well when I saw him, but obviously Rodgers, maybe it's the competition thing. Rodgers doesn't really see, so I think he's going to be sold to maybe like Fenerbahce for about. I think Fenerbahce wanted for 2 mil, a big Turkish side, and Leicester want 3. But back to your question about Gazelle. I don't think he's going to be a good fantasy asset at all, unless he's very cheap, like a bench fodder. But I don't even think he's going to be a 4-5. And I can't see him getting a look in personally. Another one who's going to struggle for minutes, I'd like to mention, because he might rock up somewhere and be interesting for someone. Is Iheanacho?
Yeah. I thought you might say that about the strikers. Iheanacho, he's like due a good few months. Like he did well with Man City, didn't he? Maybe because of the supply. Maybe even I could score a few goals with them. But he's not really done. He's not done so good for Leicester, even as a super sub like he was with Man City.
Yeah, strikers is a department that you're lacking real strength and depth. Like no Vardy, and then what happens? You'd have to chuck one of the wide guys like Gray forward.
Iheanacho's quite a stationary striker. Like put him around the box, and he's a decent finisher. I mean, people will just remember the miss at City in game week 37, but he is a decent finisher on his left peg. But Vardy is such a nuisance in terms of how hard he works for the team.
His movements, he's amazing.
Not just in behind, but to the ball. Whereas Iheanacho's stationary. Okazaki's another one who he puts himself about, doesn't he? He's kind of involved in the game.
He's a hard worker,
he's technically limited, but he still brings a bit of energy to the team. Whereas it always feels quite flat when Iheanacho's in the team.
No, that's right.
I think when it was quite late in the season that Leicester came to West Ham, and it was a stupid game in the end because it shouldn't have finished the way it finished. But Vardy, despite not doing anything spectacular, was still a bit of a nuisance in and around the box. And that was a game where he had to kind of be a fox in the box, for not using a Leicester pun, rather than breaking in and getting in behind us.
Do we seriously consider Vardy again at 9? Because my instinct, my inner feeling is no.
I think so.
But then the numbers in the second half and the improvement in the side and the capability of knowing what Leicester might be this year.
Yeah.
I think it's so dependent on what happens in terms of the players staying. I personally, I really hope the players stay. I genuinely do, because it'd be good to see them stay together and try and push for it.
That's why if the players stay, will be great. But personally, from tying the FPL sort of thing in with it as well in Leicester, I think as a differential option, Vardy will be good. And especially if the fixtures are there, I will look. Even if the fixtures are not, I think he's going to be a good differential. I don't think, unfortunately, I'm going to be going for him. But yeah, as like a differential, as I say, or fixture dependent, he's an option.
It's a great point what he makes there about differential. Mm-hmm. The fact that he won't get picked up. If he's 9 again, his ownership will be sub 20% all season. You know that.
Yeah, you can climb up the ranks then, right? With that sort of.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting strategy. So busy summer ahead. We are kind of looking forward to hearing more from you. All of the correspondents obviously are on ice at the moment because A, we don't know the fixtures, and B, we don't know the prices. But as soon as that kind of kicks into life, I think we're going to be seeing more activity in the transfer market, and looking forward to kind of your views on Leicester City next season.
Yeah, likewise.
Excellent. Anything else to add, James?
No, top stuff. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for sharing. Much appreciated, as I said.
Thank you. Pleasure.
Thank you. No, I think there's so many talents there to keep an eye on next year. Ones who maybe underperformed in terms of the numbers, Chilwell, Barnes, particularly two, I think really to keep an eye on next year. Definitely.
So if people want to find you, it's at Foxy FPL on Twitter. Let me get it right. Was it right, James?
You got it, yeah.
You got it right. At Foxy FPL.
All Foxy FPL, but both of them I think will find me. Foxy FPL, FPL Foxy.
Fine, perfect.
Yeah. But yeah, it's at Foxy FPL.
Yeah, perfect.
Good stuff.
Do jump on Twitter and follow Anup there because he'll be tweeting all sorts of stuff through Leicester and FPL next season.
So, for whatever reason, there's not many Leicester fans in the community.
Really?
He's really there's certain clubs you can find loads of them. West Ham, fucking everywhere. I don't know why.
We breed. That's why.
But there's not a huge number of Leicester fans in the community. So I mean, you're going to be a good reference point for people this year. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah. Well, listen, thanks again for coming on to the show. This is day 16 now. James, who's up 17? Correct. Any idea?
Yeah, I'll be wearing my Spurs colours when you tune in on YouTube tomorrow.
Ricky Saunders? There we go. Shall I just not bother coming in for that one?
To be honest, no, come in because the two of us want to rip the fucking shit out of you.
Oh, fair play. Because you just got nothing good to say about your own team.
To be honest, we probably won't even mention you.
Let's wrap it up there. Anything else to add other than that?
Nah, brilliant. Thanks very much. Your line.
Ciao for now.
Cue music, man, child.
The Fantasy Football Show.